From Chesapeake, Virginia, WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
And thank you very much, Joe Daniel. Glad you're with us on this very overcast May 24th as we approach Memorial Day weekend. Glad you're with us. We are live as always. Sports Scene is an interview show every Wednesday from 12 to 1. Also sports highlights on nnpstv.com. Tell your friends about 1650 AM and 92.5 FM. And starting in July, we'll be moving to 1 to 2 p.m., but not till July. Plenty of announcements before then as well. Twitter at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, and HROnline.com. Thank you to our military. Great guest lineup as well. Sponsors on GJBTV.com as well as HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. And, of course, Mi Casita Mexican Restaurant with 2 great locations in Virginia Beach presents the guest lineup as well. Phone line presented by Outback Steakhouse in Kempsville. NBA postseason in full swing. NHL postseason. Major League Baseball always in action. Sponsors this month right here on this radio station, Crawl Space Stores, Me Hogar, Newport News Greek Festival. We'll be talking to the marksman here in just a few moments after the Norfolk Tides report as well. Great interviews, business segments, highlights, commentary, what teased me off. Thank you for making the habit to listen to Sports Scene each week, and we love our regulars and newcomers. Greg Bick on Twitter, GREGBIC. You can add me on Facebook as well, on Greg Bicouvaris as well. Big article coming in the Daily Press about the Newport News Greek Festival this Sunday. Make sure you get a copy of that or look at it online. The Newport News Greek Festival will be June 1st to June 4th as well. Also want to thank Special Design Florists for all your flowers and gifts for all occasions. 12917 Jefferson Avenue, the Rich Neck Shopping Center. Go by and see Sunny. She'll make your day bright with some great flowers. Give her a call at 872-8889. A Special Design Florist, designs by Sunny. Flowers and gifts for all occasions. Stay tuned. We'll be back with Ian Locke from the Norfolk Tides after this. Mark your calendar for June 1st through June 4th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival. Enjoy authentic Greek food, desserts, beverages, music, dancing, arts and crafts, and much more. This is the 50th anniversary of this signature event on the peninsula, and it will be special. The Newport News Greek Festival is located at 60 Travis Road, off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has 2 locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
Catch up on archived editions of Sports Scene by going to GJBTV.com and clicking the YouTube image on the homepage. Now back to Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris.
All right, welcome back live right here to Sports Scene on this May 24th, month almost over. As well, Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. For more, go to GJBTV.com. Hit the YouTube link. Our weekly segment starts with the Norfolk Tides. Normally, they'll be on at 12:35. Ian Locke with the Tides will join us a little bit early today. And, of course, don't forget, starting in July, after July 4th, we'll be moving the show from 12 to 1 to 1 to 2 as well. More convenient for everybody as well. The Tides are 19 and 25, the 25th year of Harbor Park. Ian Locke, welcome, my friend.
Hey, Greg, thanks for having me.
Very good. Give us a lay of the land, the Tide so far through April and May. Your opinion so far, how the team has done.
Yeah, we got off to a slow start. We lost the first 4 games of the year down in Charlotte, but we've kind of bounced back since then. We played about 500. For us, the main thing is the Orioles are playing great, and the Orioles kind of view us as their extended bench kind of thing, and so we've had a good job. We've already had 15 players play for both the Tides and the Orioles this year, so. A lot of movement up and down. I think we have a morning game today in Toledo, but we've had 80 transactions already this season, so we're keeping busy. but playing pretty well the last couple weeks.
Yeah, we had Mancini, as you know, in Sports Highlights last year. He's done very well for the Orioles.
Oh yeah, he's been fantastic. The way he's swung the bat, and he's actually played a really good left field this year too. He's not a guy that had ever played the outfield before this season, but the Orioles put him out there in left field and right field, and just a way to get his bat in the lineup. And he's been just unreal, hitting home runs and driving runs in, and just a great kid too. As you know, you met him last year, had him on your show, and just a really nice kid out of Notre Dame. And he's one of those guys that it's really easy to root for him.
And that's one thing interesting about baseball, as we're talking to Ian Locke from the Norfolk Tides, of course, is that some kids just go right from high school to professional baseball, while others like Mancini go the college route in Notre Dame. And of course, the College World Series is always exciting to see future prospects for the Major League Baseball.
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, it's strange to see, like, we'll have guys that were studs in college and just didn't work it out in the pro ranks, but then you get guys that were high school can't-miss guys who do miss. So it's an inexact science for sure, figuring out what's going on, who they're going to pick the Orioles every year. But there's you look at a guy like Mike Trout, who was drafted I think 20 something overall by the Angels. 20 teams passed on him. Mike Trout's worked out pretty well, so it's an inexact science for sure, draft wise. But I think the Orioles have a later pick this year, which is a result of them playing well the last couple of years. They finished made the wild card game last year, so they've been playing well, and hopefully they can pick someone great this year, and we'll see them in Norfolk in a couple of years.
Well, talk about the Tides. They're on the road this week. When are they coming back home?
We come back home on Tuesday. We start a 7-game homestand, and we play Pawtucket, the Red Sox. There's a lot of Red Sox fans in the area. We start up a series with them, 3-game, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week, and then we're home through the weekend with the Rochester Red Wings, the Minnesota Twins affiliate, coming into town. And next Friday we have youth jersey giveaway. It's the new green jerseys that people seem to like a lot. Those are going to be given away on Friday. And then on Saturdays, our always popular Star Wars night, where we have all the fireworks and all the Star Wars characters come out to the park and get your picture taken with the Darth Vader or Yoda or Princess Leia, who's my favorite.
And of course, that movie will come out later this year as well. May the force be with you, Ian, as well. Of course.
Well, thank you, Greg.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Of course. All right. Well, give us all the social media of the Tides are. It's unbelievable how much that's grown since you've been there.
Yeah, I mean, you can find us pretty much everywhere. We're on Facebook, obviously, Twitter. Snapchat is big, Instagram, and if you just search Norfolk Tides for all those, you can find us. And then also on YouTube as well, we have post-game highlights for all our games posted there after every time we play.
Isn't it unbelievable how your manager has been with your club for so long now?
It's such a strange thing to have. You never see that at the AAA level. Ron Johnson this is his 6th season with us, and I think normally you get a year, maybe 2 for a manager, and that's pretty much the run of that. So RJ's got we're lucky to have him. He's such a nice guy. He's actually probably lost 75 pounds over that 6-year span too. He's kind of reversed his eating habits and drinking habits a little bit, and he's working out every day, and he looks great, and he's just a great guy and we're lucky to have him, that's for sure.
Because that's true. You've heard horror stories. You got to be on the road so much. It's hard to eat like a healthy salad, And
I mean, you get to these clubhouses you get into, and they'll you walk in and there's candy bars and the way the games end. You're leaving the ballpark at 11 o'clock at night. You get in at noon. It's a lot of fast food is the easy way to do it. So it's tough to eat healthy. It's actually gotten across baseball the last couple years has gotten a lot easier to eat healthy because teams are kind of providing better options for players. Where it used to be, hey, here's some hamburgers, hot dogs, and some order pizza, and there you go. And now I know the Tides themselves, we have a chef in the clubhouse who will cook up, salmon and fancy dinners for those guys. I run through dropping off stats, and I look to see their food, and I go, oh, man, that looks pretty good. I'm a little jealous of what they get to eat compared to what we get to eat in the press box.
But, call it the Tide Steakhouse, yeah.
Health and nutrition is definitely a thing that's become just a huge thing for the Tides and many Major League clubs.
All right, 25th year at Harbor Park. Hard to believe they used to play way back in the day at Met Park. But talk about June, July, and August promotions, and how many more fireworks do you have left?
I think we have at least 8 or 9 fireworks dates. Most of them are on Saturdays. We do have fireworks on July 3rd as part of the Independence Day weekend celebrations. There's Bark in the Park is still a big one. We have a couple Turn Back the Clock nights where we wear throwback Norfolk Tars jerseys, and then we have 50-cent hot dogs, sodas, and popcorns during that stretch of those games as well. So a bunch of great promotions and events coming up. We also have, I don't know if you saw recently, for any Game of Thrones fans out there, we booked Hodor from Game of Thrones. He'll be out here in late August signing autographs and taking pictures. He's a 6'11" giant from the popular TV show. So lots of crazy fun things to do. And, every Thursday night game we have some happy hour specials. And on Sundays we're doing Sunday Fun Day this year where we have mimosas and chicken and waffles and some breakfast foods out at the ballpark so you can have brunch as well. So keeping it busy. In addition to good baseball, we got a lot of good promotions as well.
All right, for more, log on to NorfolkTides.com. Ian, we will talk to you next Wednesday on May 31st around 12:35, my friend. Have a great rest of the week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you. All right, Ian Locke right there from the Norfolk Tides. Of course, Norfolk Tides is a great summertime activity. They're on the road. They'll be back very soon at beautiful Harbor Park in its 25th year. Of course, doing a great job under the general manager, Joe Gregory. A locals tradition is CP Shuckers with locations on Shore Drive and Pacific Avenue. People love their prime rib, seafood, and much more. Like both locations on Facebook and log on to cpshuckers.com. Eat or be eaten at CP Shuckers, your place to watch all the sports on TV with 2 great locations and great dining for lunch, dinner, and late night as well. All right, it's the Memorial Day weekend. We're going to be talking guns and safety with George McClain, the owner, general manager of the Marksman, after this break. Mark your calendar for June 1st through June 4th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival. Enjoy authentic Greek food, desserts, beverages, music, dancing, arts and crafts, and much more. This is the 50th anniversary of this signature event on the peninsula, and it will be special. The Newport News Greek Festival is located at 60 Travis Road, off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org.
WHKT The Answer wants to thank our advertisers for their support, and we're committed to delivering advertising results. We reach an upscale educated audience that's hard to reach anywhere else, and the majority of the net profit we produce is invested in the community. Our advertisers' marketing dollars support missions, charities, and organizations throughout Hampton Roads and beyond. That's why we exist. To learn more about marketing and our unique business model, call 488-1010, that's 488-1010, or go to 1650theanswer.com.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has 2 locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
Interact with Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick. Email bicogb@hotmail.com. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris in the Hampton Roads OnlineMall.com studios.
All right, welcome back live to Sports Scene. Hope you enjoyed the interview with Ian Locke from the Norfolk Tides. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us on this May 24th, getting close to Memorial Day weekend as well. All brought to you by Panera, the only nationwide chain that can say every item is 100% clean. They deliver. They also offer catering as well and delivery, like I mentioned, and the rapid pickup option right there in Suffolk at 6255 College Drive in Harborview. Go by and see Christian and the great staff 7 days a week. Their phone number is 483-3670. Panera specializes in soups, sandwiches, salads, breakfast, soufflés, beverages, bagels, smoothies. They've got delicious food. It's always fresh, 100% clean at Panera. Great staff. For more, log on to PaneraBread.com. Very active in social media. Healthy food for the kids, families, senior citizens. All at Panera. Great logo, great food, great atmosphere is at Panera. Spend your Memorial Day weekend at PaneraBread.com. All right, let's welcome our regular once a month over the phone. And now we have him delightfully in the studio. Let's welcome Mr. George McClain, the owner, general manager of the Marksman. How are you?
Doing well, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Very good, very good. Let's talk about the Marksman, first of all, for the audience that might be hearing you for the first time. It's coming up Memorial Day weekend. How long have you had the store?
Took over as GM in 2010 and purchased it from the former owners in 2012.
Very nice, very nice. Well, let's take a tour of your facility. You're affiliated with the Criminal Justice and, of course, Security Institute. When you walk in, what do you see?
Well, you walk in the door, of course, you walk right into the lobby, and we've got our retail side is on the left side, and if you're coming for the range, that's on the right side of the lobby. So we used to run one line into one register, but we had to expand that. Customers picked up, and we didn't want our range customers have to wait for the retail customers to get up to the register to get their equipment and get onto the range to go shoot. So we split that up. So now when you come to shoot, you don't have to wait on anybody else except other range customers. And if you're looking to buy a firearm, you don't have to worry about the range customers being in the way. You can come right up and look at what you want to look at. Each one talk to their own representative and carry on with whatever business you want.
Absolutely. You have a great staff. You're only as good as your staff is, and it's family owned and operated.
Yes, it is.
Well, let's talk about your staff.
All right. Well, most is, as you say, family personnel. I've got my son, BJ, is there as my sales manager. Sherry Stepp, sister-in-law, is office manager. And when I'm not there, she and BJ, I call them co-captains, that they can, kind of fill in, the both of them. And but they do a great job. Niece works there. A couple of brother-in-laws work there. So out of the group, probably maybe 3 or 4 are not family members. The rest are family.
Well, let's talk about some of the parameters. George McClain's office is at 520 Industrial Park Drive in Newport News. They're an indoor shooting range, firearm sales, professional training, open 7 days a week. And with all that's going on in the world today, now is a great time to purchase a gun as well as part of the Criminal Justice and Security Institute. Just look what happened in England a few days ago. People are becoming more proactive about their family safety and going out in public today.
Well, that's very true. And I'd like to make a point. Having a firearm does not give you any more rights and privileges than anyone else who doesn't have a firearm. It just enables you to defend yourself should that situation arise. And the old saying is, it's much better to have a way to defend yourself and be prepared to do it and never need it. And, we always hope that no one ever needs to defend themselves for their life. But it's much better to be in that situation than being in the situation of needing to defend your life or the life of a loved one, family member, and not being prepared or having the equipment to do that. So that's the proactive side. So if you want to get a gun, then be responsible. Get the training, learn the laws, then be prepared to use it. The other hand of that, people will purchase a firearm and they think, this is great, now I can go and do whatever else. No, if you didn't want to do something or were afraid to do something before you got that firearm, getting that firearm doesn't empower you or entitle you to do something else. And if you ever say it's okay because I've got my gun, that's the first indication that it's not okay to do whatever it is that you're getting ready to do. It does not mean that you can do something. When we talk about self-defense, it's important to remind people that 90% of self-defense is avoiding the situations that may cause you to have to use self-defense to start with. The other 10%, having the equipment, training to defend yourself. But 90% of that, stay away from those situations. So it's common sense.
You see a lot of colleges, even as sports, they have these gun gun teams on the colleges too, which is really good. But sometimes, let's say if you're a kid of a police officer or some type of military person, a lot of the kids and the family members are already raised around guns as long as it's done professionally. But still, that's what you're here for, the marksman at 520 Industrial Park Drive in Newport News, is to learn and take a class.
Well, that's absolutely right. Yeah, I was born and raised, grew up in West Virginia. And I was hunting with my dad and shooting guns before I was riding bicycles. We were a poor family, couldn't afford a bicycle, but we had firearms, and we go out squirrel hunting, deer hunting, and that brought meat, into the table. So that wasn't a professional background. That was Dad, teaching, but that was a lot of years ago. I'm 62 years old, so we're talking back in the 50s and the 60s when I was learning, the basics, but. Back then, the older guys, your dads and granddads, they knew what those basics were. But as times have changed over that 50, 60-year period, we've gotten more away from that. The country has become more of a city. There's still some country out there, but now we've got city folks, and we're not hunting, but we are using firearms for sport and for self-defense. So we're getting away from learning. The basic safeties and shooting fundamentals from our parents and grandparents. Those generations have changed. So now we rely upon training centers that do an honest job of not selling you a firearm just because they can sell it. We would rather you come in and do some training, and shoot several different firearms, and then decide what's good for you, not something that the salesman wants to sell. So our salesmen are trained not to do that. It's talk to you and see what best fits your hand and what your preference is.
All right, we're going to take a short break for the news in just a moment. We're talking with George McClain from the Marksman at 520 Industrial Park Drive. Great place to go. Give them a call at 872-4130. You can Google the Marksman as well. You can see the website there in Newport News. Indoor shooting range, firearms sales, excellent staff, professional training, open 7 days a week, convenient. Find them on Facebook as well, the Marksman. You can see the bullseye. You can also see their link on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. And, of course, we archive these shows at gjbtv.com by hitting the YouTube link. It is the Memorial Day weekend coming up. We're going to talk about car safety, public safety, and a lot more with George McClain right here from the Marksman right here on Sports Scene as well. So all the good people at Buffalo Wild Wings as well in Newport News at 12150 Jefferson Avenue. Presenting the show as well, Paul Odette and his great staff. Their phone number is 249-3999. Delicious wings, burgers, salads, appetizers, desserts, beverages, great lunch menu. You can pick an entree, excellent prices, takeout as well at Buffalo Wild Wings. Wall-to-wall sports on TV, wing, beer, sports. Go by and see Paul and his great staff at Buffalo Wild Wings in Newport News. This is Sports Scene on 1650 AM, 92.5 FM. TuneIn.com, type in WHKT on your phone or your computer. We'll be back after this news break.
It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com.
All right, gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Browse, shop, visit all the great sponsors, marketplace, restaurants, retail services, all on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Visit the pages of gjbtv.com. Save the date. We'll be back next Wednesday for Sports Scene from 12 to 1. And, of course, all presented by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Save the date for the Newport News Greek Festival, June 1st to June 4th. Back with George McClain from the Marksman in Newport News. And, George, you're seeing more and more people in public. Like I saw somebody at a restaurant with a concealed gun the other day. You didn't see that as much 10 or 15 years ago. You're seeing that more now. Should people be okay with it, or when it's not a police officer? Because we always saw police officers with guns. We haven't always seen the public with guns.
Well, very true. Virginia has been what we call an open carry state for quite some time. And open carry means that the firearm can be outside, unconcealed, and you don't need a permit for that. And people say, well, if it's open, if open carry is okay, then why would you ever need concealed? Well, to address your point, what happens because of all of the extraneous activities that we see from terrorists or would-be terrorists or imitating terrorism, people start getting nervous. So they see someone with a gun. They don't know, if this is a good guy, bad guy. So we tell them, look, get your concealed permits, conceal the firearm. It's nobody's business. You're legal. Make sure that you stay out of the places that you can't carry a firearm in. I might ask you, if the guy had a concealed firearm, how did you know he had it?
I just saw it with my naked eye and figured he was okay. He looked professional. He presented himself very well.
Well, my point is, how did you see the firearm? How did you know he was carrying?
I saw it. I physically saw it on his hip.
Okay. So it was the total gun, firearm was
Yes.
out? Okay.
It was covered, in a case, but he carried it on his belt pocket like anybody
Gotcha.
else would.
Okay. So in a holster. So
Yes,
it's
correct.
Yes, okay. Again, that's legal as long as the property owner has not declared no firearms. Now, you can do that verbally or with signage and say no firearms allowed. If the restaurant or a grocery store, a lot of them don't allow it. Banks, some of them do, some of them don't. So you need to be cognizant of the ones that don't. But for anyone out there that's owns a business like that the public comes in, if you don't want firearms, you need to make sure that you post it to where they can see it. I walked into a place one time to sit and talk to the general manager. We were having a meeting, and I didn't see their no firearms sticker on the front door until I sat down in a chair, and that brought my eye level down. With this sticker that they had was down at knee level in the door. Well, no one's going to see that.
No.
And it's not necessarily to get someone in trouble, but the potential is there for that. If you inadvertently walk into a place that is no firearms, and then they discover, either they see your firearm, what we call printing, through the outline of your clothing. You may have it in your pocket. You can see a shape that looks like a firearm. And if they ask you, is that a firearm? Say, well, yeah, it is, but I have a permit. Well, it doesn't matter. We don't allow firearms here. You must leave. Well, your only legal option is to leave. Okay, if you don't, they can call the police and they'll arrest you for criminal trespassing. But you must leave. I haven't heard. I'm sure there may be some instances. I haven't heard of anyone being arrested for coming in if they left. It's if they refuse to leave. So because Virginia does not have any criteria for how this information is portrayed. In Texas, for instance, signage is by law. It has to be certain wording, a certain font, certain size. In Virginia, we don't have that.
All right, that's George McClain, the owner and general manager of the Fire, arms instructor, the marksman right there in Newport News. Phone number is 872-4130. Joe Daniel is producing. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us live on several different outlets, 1650 AM, 92.5 FM, on tunein.com by typing WHKT on your phone or your computer as well. And, of course, this is going to be archived on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. On my Facebook page, Greg Bicouvaris, but easily on Twitter at Greg Bick. Joe Daniel will also retweet it as well, and it'll be on gjbtv.com by hitting the YouTube link. Before we talk about more driving and gun information, can I always ask you this? You're from West Virginia. This is Virginia. There's always been a little bit of a border rivalry between the two. What is the biggest differences between West Virginia and Virginia gun laws based on what you saw when you were growing up and today?
There's a lot of similarities. Matter of fact, most of the gun laws between the two states are the same, with a recent difference in West Virginia that they now will allow anyone to carry a firearm concealed. So they've done away with, they haven't done away with the permit system. My understanding is they will still issue permits, but permits are not required, where in Virginia, obviously, they are required. Now, Virginia and West Virginia have had reciprocity with each other as far as their concealed permits for years. So that still is in place. if the West Virginia resident has a West Virginia concealed handgun permit. Now, the resident, and I was called by several people and asked about what's the significance of getting away from the permit system. Well, that significance is if you don't have a permit, once you cross the state line from West Virginia into Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, doesn't matter, you lose your right to carry that firearm because you don't have a permit, so there is no reciprocity with any other state. So my advice was keep the permit system in place, even if you're going to allow anyone to come into the state and state residents to carry concealed without a permit. Keep it in place for those who do travel out of state, so they can enjoy those reciprocity or rights of reciprocity with the states that have the agreement with West Virginia. That's the biggest difference between the two right now.
Good point, talking to George McClain. Also, too, this is very important because the big driving weekend coming up this weekend, July 4th, Labor Day, all coming up here very quickly. Of course, let's talk about Memorial Day. In order for a person carrying a concealed gun, they usually drive from A to B. Mm-hmm. A lot of times the state police or the local police might pull somebody over for an infraction like no headlights or something like that, then discover they're dealing with a criminal who's got illegal guns. But also, at the same time, they might pull somebody over with the same issue, but he is a good citizen who's got a concealed gun. But the first thing two police officers normally look at, one checks the driver's side, one checks the passenger side. The first thing they're looking for is something sharp, an object, guns, show me your hands, or what's in the back seat or the trunk, or drugs.
Right. Well, what happens today, and keep in mind with the criminal element that you spoke of, they don't care what the law is. They're not going to abide by it. The law-abiding citizen that goes and gets the concealed permit, DMV, that's on the DMV computer. So when someone stops you, all the police cruisers today typically will have computer systems in that. So if you get stopped, that police officer is running your tags on his computer before he ever gets out of the car. So if you have a concealed permit in Virginia, and most other states will do that as well, it's going to flag it. So it's going to come up, and he's going to know that the owner of that vehicle has a concealed permit. So that means that there's a possibility of a firearm being in that vehicle. What he doesn't know until he walks up and gets the driver's license and registration is who was driving the car. It may be the owner. It may be somebody else. Okay, he doesn't know. And cops have a bad enough job the way it is. You throw nighttime in there, that makes it that much worse. So if I'm a cop walking up, I kind of want to know, if there's a gun in the car, and if it's the owner of the car that is the driver, I'm probably a little bit more at ease. So I tell all of my concealed classes, keep your permit with your driver's license. If you get stopped, and the officer's gonna ask for your driver's license, registration, insurance card, put that permit right on top of it. He already knows that the owner, which you may or may not be the owner, but if you are, put the permit on there and say, officer, I have a permit, emphasis on permit, to carry a concealed handgun, and I'm carrying or I'm not carrying, whatever the case may be. You get that stress level down. Biggest thing is until he walks up, keep your hands on the steering wheel, turn the lights on if it's nighttime, interior lights, so you can see what's going on. You want to make sure he goes home and is able to sleep in his bed, same as you want to go home and sleep in your bed that night too.
And not to mention, too, what throws it totally off is rental cars. That's not your car.
That's very true.
And that you can only go by the driver's license then, or who is actually driving the vehicle. In some cases, who's the passenger as well.
Yep, very true. Which still goes with what I said, keep that permit by your driver's license. Inform the officer. I have a permit. You don't want to, roll your window down and yell out, I have a gun, because I can guarantee you what's going to happen if you're going to, scream that out. But you want to make the point that you have the permit, that you're legal. And unless you're doing something that would cause the officer to consider you somewhat dangerous, everything's going to be fine. If he thinks you're dangerous, there's a thing called a Terry stop. The media tends to call a stop and frisk, and we've heard this in other states like New York and Illinois and the Chicago area where they're employing some of that. But if the officer thinks that you're that he knows you're armed and he considers you dangerous, he can escort you out of the vehicle, basically handcuff you for his safety until he ascertains that the vehicle is safe. No weapons, that kind of thing. That gets very involved. I'm not, going to take up a lot of time to get into it, but it's basically, be nice. Your attitude during a traffic stop dictates a lot about how that goes.
Because you can open up a can of worms just on a bad blinker or bad license, expired license,
Yep.
bad inspection stickers, whatever it is. What types of guns do you sell at your location?
We'll sell any non-NFA or Class 3 weapons. So we've got handguns, semi-automatics, revolvers, shotguns. That's your biggest thing. A few hunting rifles. Again, hunting's not a big deal in this area, but we have a lot of hunters. Of course, they'll travel out of state or other places in the state, in the western part of the state, where hunting is a lot more prevalent than what it is here in the Tidewater area. So we can, if we don't, that's pretty much what we stock. Our online store has a lot more that you can order that we may not have in stock. But if we don't have it in stock, typically 3 days or so, it's depending on the manufacturer, we usually get it in fairly quickly.
All right, very good. All right, leave us with a good note, of course. We're talking to George McClain, owner, general manager, firearms instructor from the Marksman in Newport News, Class Act, real gentleman, at 520 Industrial Park Drive in Newport News in the Denby section, a little bit further, close to Fort Eustis. Phone number is 872-4130. Open 7 days a week online, open 7 days a week in person. Get that class, take care of that loved one, and learn about gun and gun safety from a great firearms instructor staff at the Marksman. Leave us with a good note for the holiday weekend.
Be safe. Safety is always at the top of the list. So if you're driving, you don't drink. If you're drinking, there's no equation I can give you that alcohol and firearms go together. They just don't. So if you're going to drink, leave the gun at home.
Yeah, and don't text and drive either.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all the best, my friend, and we'll talk to you early next month in the month of June. Hard to believe it's almost June, and continued health and happiness to the entire McClain family.
Thank you, Greg. Same to you.
And to all your great customers. All right, that was right there George McClain from the Marksman, also part of the Criminal Justice Security Institute, Class Act in Newport News. Folks, great place to learn it. Learn it from the basics, the fundamentals from the Marksman. Sports Scene will continue after these messages, live on 1650 AM, 92.5 FM. It is now 1246.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has 2 locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Here's another Value Line special, a 3-hour climb in the trees at the Adventure Park at the Virginia Aquarium. You'll get an adult ticket valued at $52, 30% off at just $36.40. A youth ticket ages 7 through 11, normally $44 for $30.80. Children 6 and under are free. 3 hours to do as you please in the trees at the Virginia Aquarium's Adventure Park. These are great prices, so call 488-1010 and get in on some great fun. Call the Value Line at 488-1010.
Mark your calendar for June 1st through June 4th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival. Enjoy authentic Greek food, desserts, beverages, music, dancing, arts and crafts, and much more. This is the 50th anniversary of this signature event on the peninsula, and it will be special. The Newport News Greek Festival is located at 60 Travis Road, off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org.
You are listening to Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris. Now, back to Greg.
All right, I want to thank Ian Locke from the Norfolk Tides and George McClain for joining us so far. Caponara Asian Cuisine. Open 7 days a week. Phone number is 369-8808. Delicious Asian food, dine in and carry out. Excellent appetizers as well. Japanese entrees, Japanese noodles, as well as seafood specials, Thai entrees, Vietnamese cuisine. Excellent food, lo mein as well. 10% military and senior discount. Cozy little place up in Denby. 14501 Warwick Boulevard. Phone number is 369-8808. Kaponara Asian Cuisine. Of course, we just had the Norfolk Greek Festival last weekend. And of course, 1 week from tomorrow, June 1st to June 4th, is the Newport News Greek Festival. And that's where we want to welcome back the king of the Newport News Greek Festival, Dinos Pierrakos from Laconical Olive Oil. How are you, my friend?
How are you doing, Greg? Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Very good. First of all, give us a recap of the Norfolk Greek Festival. How was it for your 4 days?
It was amazing. It was amazing. We got to meet a lot of new faces who ended up tasting our family's award-winning olive oil. We had a very nice and warm welcome, and of course, we saw a lot of returning faces who couldn't get more of our award-winning olive oil.
Well, let's talk about Laconical. What do you sell exactly? You have all types of great olive oil, and you also have olives too.
Yes. We're one of the world's most awarded Greek extra virgin olive oil producers. Our production comes from the southern coast of Sparta, Greece. And of course, with our award-winning olive oil, we use that as the base to all of our infused olive oils, like our famous garlic, which we end up selling out every single time, our famous Greek seasoning, marinade, as well as our black truffle, just to name a few. And we also have some of our tasty Kalamata olives that we prepare and we import. And
they go so well with bread and feta cheese, don't they?
Oh, yes, it goes amazing, especially when you use all of our products in your cooking or as a finishing in your cooking. It just adds an amazing addition to what you have already prepared.
Well, the public will see you June 1st to June 4th at the Newport News Greek Festival at 60 Traverse Road. People have been hearing the radio commercials, of course, and big article coming in the Daily Press about the 50th anniversary about it as well. Delicious Greek food, but the number one vendor inside the Hellenic Center for 4 days will be Laconical with his extra olive oil. And, of course, talk about all the products you'll have on location those 4 days.
Yes, we will. Like I said, we will be presenting this year's award-winning harvest, which for the fourth consecutive year we have won in the largest competition in the world. And along with that, our infused olive oils with some of our amazing Kalamata olives, and we'll also be sampling some of our wild Greek oregano. When you smell that, when you crush it and smell it, it's like nothing that you've smelled.
It's really, really good, of course, and only the freshest ingredients as well.
Exactly. And, of course, you can always find us you can always call us, email us, or order online if you need to at laconico.com, LACONIKO. And we will be there for the 50th anniversary, and we're excited. It's going to be big, it's going to be fun, and it's going to be loud like all Greek folks are.
Yeah, and of course, you will be coming for the fall event, too, but it's open to the public, free admission, free parking. Go by and see Dino and his great staff at the Newport News Greek Festival, June 1st to June 4th. Sample some great olive oil. Buy it. It's perfect gifts for birthdays or weddings or anniversaries, or just great for your salads or your food. Delicious Laconical olive oil. And, of course, you can see his link on Hampton Roads, onlinemall.com. Okay, my friend, have a great rest of the week, and we look forward to seeing you at the Newport News Greek Festival. Leave us with a final word about Laconical.
Yes, Laconico, the most amazing, clean, fruity, velvety butter and buttery olive oil that you have ever tasted. Find us online, and you can always order at laconico.com. And we look forward to seeing everybody and all the new faces and returning faces next week
at the Newport News Greek Festival. All the best to you and your family.
That's right. Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you. Can't wait.
Yeah, Yasso.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. want to thank our good friends, too, at Outback Steakhouse at 1255 Fordham Drive in Virginia Beach. Excellent place. They got a great curbside menu. Mike and the great staff have great wings. They got soups and salads as well. Signature steaks like the Victoria's Filet Mignon, the ribeye. They've got it all steak mate, surf and turf. They got great potatoes and classic sides, as well as fresh steamed broccoli and premium sides. Excellent chicken, ribs, chops, and more straight from the sea. It's all there with irresistible desserts, curbside takeaway. They do catering. For more on online ordering, go to Outback.com. They have dine-in rewards too. And of course, create your own lunch combo, open daily for lunch 7 days a week, dinner 7 days a week, special occasions 7 days a week. Outback Steakhouse in Virginia Beach, 1255 Fordham Drive. Excellent restaurant. The premier steakhouse in Virginia is right there at 1255 Fordham Drive. Take your family there for the Memorial Day weekend. Get a great burger and a steak. Don't worry about grilling out. Go to Outback Steakhouse. And, of course, Father's Day, all the wedding specials at Outback Steakhouse. Mike Jared gets it right each and every time. His phone number is 523-4832. Great parking. Folks, I recommend it in Virginia Beach, 1255 Fordham Drive, Outback Steakhouse. Let's get to what tees me off.
What tees you off? Presented by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com.
And a few side notes. Of course, the Yankees and Orioles will play Memorial Day at 1 o'clock on ESPN. And, of course, the Red Sox come to Baltimore June 3rd, nationally on Fox at 7:15. I know Brian Parsons, my good friend at Wavy TV 10, loves those Saturday night Fox games that interrupt his sportscast. But anyway, it's always good as the Red Sox and the Orioles take on each other June 3rd on Fox in Baltimore. Catch the new wave as your Norfolk Tides take the field at beautiful Harbor Park. Bring your friends and family to root on the Orioles of tomorrow. Log on to NorfolkTides.com for information on season tickets, groups, and merchandise. Follow the Tides on Twitter and Facebook for up-to-date promotions and player moves. Tides Baseball, see the green. All right, what tees me off? All this Comey and FBI investigations that are going on while Trump is in the Middle East trying to get some type of peace. I mean, enough. I'm tired of hearing about Comey. I'm tired of hearing about the FBI. Let's get it resolved and move on.
It's never going to stop, Greg. You're very promising, positive about this, but I don't think it's ever going to go away. It's always going to be something. If it's not Comey, it's going to be something else.
Right. As long as there's a Republican president, the Democrats are never going to like him.
And vice versa.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't avoid it.
You don't see that many independents or in the White House, though.
None.
That's been traditional, Republican or Democratic. All right. Businesses, Joe Daniel, you'll like this one, that are not staffed correctly.
Yes. I had a recent experience once where they didn't have the proper, as many people as they should have. They only had one person answering phone calls, taking payments. I saw this one lady come up to the front and say, "Hey, here's the check." They're like, "Your waiter is supposed to do that for you." Well, I haven't seen him in like 20 minutes. And so, I had a recent experience about that myself.
It's pretty bad when you have to get out of your seat and say, where's the waiter or the waitress, too, as well.
Yeah.
I think customer service, whether you go to banks, post offices, the in-person experience because of the online experience is dwindled. Something's got to give, and it's the in-person experience. Look at the drive-thrus at restaurants. It's the in-person experience for fast food places has gone to pot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know that they're working on it because if you go to these fast food restaurants, some of them, they'll have this quick slogan instead of "you're welcome," kind of like Chick-fil-A.
My pleasure.
My pleasure. Arby's says something different. We're glad to help, or something like that. McDonald's has their own little
Smile,
phrase.
Whatever. Yeah. All right, service advisors at car dealerships when you're waiting for an oil change, who are trying to obviously upsell you and really don't care whether your car is breaking down or not. All they're caring about is their commission, and they can't hide it because they're not actors or actresses. And there's like, well, your filter needs changing, your transmission needs done. It's like, I just want my oil changed today. That's it. I didn't ask for anything else.
No, I just need some washer fluid. That's all I came in for. Just some washer fluid. I don't need a whole new transmission.
It's like you're going to the surgeon and everything you've done in your life is wrong when you go to a car dealership.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, be honest. Honest policy.
Exactly.
Honesty.
All right, how about this? You know this firsthand. You've seen it. Parents meddling in all their kids' activities.
Oh, yeah, the helicopter mom, that kind of phrase. We're constantly watching over and peering over your child, quick to correct. Yeah, give some freedom, And
we talked about this.
There's a balance there.
We talked about this earlier. Agenda-driven wait staff only looking for tips.
Yeah. No, that's another thing, too. I went to a different place, and they had all the waitresses, and it's probably pretty common, but all the waitresses all pitched into the one bucket, all of their tips, and then they divvied it up between each other. And I can understand why you do that, because it's not one person who's trying to steal another person's, customers and trying to get extra tips. They're a team. They're at one restaurant. They want consistency. When you come to our place, you want good service. And so we're a team. We're all going to work together.
And real quick, I'll add on to that, too. If a bill's $100 and you do a takeout, what did the person do to garner a 20% tip? Okay, I know they got the food together, but it's not the same as in person where they really wait on you. And last thing, lines of any kind, they're horrible. I don't care if it's DMV, the grocery store, the post office, a restaurant. It's really not good. I want to thank all of our great guests today, Ian Locke from the Norfolk Tides, as well as George McClain, and, of course, Dinos Pierrakos. Sports Scene is archived at gjbtv.com by hitting the YouTube link and all of my Twitter accounts that you'll see on gjbtv.com as well. Happy Memorial Day. For Joe Daniel, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. We'll talk to you soon.
AM 1650 WHKT Portsmouth, 92.5 FM W223CT Norfolk. For your daily supply of news and talk, we are The Answer.